We're back.
We're back.
We say that anytime we miss a show, though. So we
Yeah, but it rarely ever happens. So
yes,
we
but
don't say it that much.
nope. So anyway, the Herman Raj podcast starts in 20
Yes.
seconds. We're back again. That was the longest 20 seconds of my life. So
when I look at the intro, I try to think of like how many of those Bama shirts do we still have? I think I still have most of them.
I need to play it again. So
we'll check out again next time.
Yeah, we'll check next time. Okay. So we was some traveling, some real life stuff to handle last week. So we of course weren't here. Happy to be back with everybody. Thanks for all the letters, all the cards, all the sympathy. Appreciate it for what we're going through. But Raj, it's good to be back. So she said play it again. Yeah, we watch. Trust me, before we go to bed tonight, it's gonna get played like several times. So shout out to Mr. U.
Shout out to Mr. U.
One of our biggest supporters. Has invited us both on his show. Only one of us shows
up. Herb has been on the show several times.
I wasn't gonna say who.
It's okay. It's okay. We got to put it out there. I have not been on the show. I need to figure it out. It's hard schedule for me due to my work schedule, but I will figure it out, and I will definitely be a Mr. U show with him, with Herb. Football Talk with Bo, Mr. U. It's an excellent show.
Yep.
Every Monday morning at 8 a.m., I believe.
8 a.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern.
8 Central, yes.
Yeah, so great show. Great show. Nah, man, we appreciate you. So and we always like to give him a shout out because it hasn't just been the on-air support, but it's off the air. So
yeah, of course.
Him, so. And another one of the guys that actually helped us give us a start. What's up, guys, from the Paycom Center? So the only two Oklahoma guys we've had on the show is Air Raid Mike, of course, helped give us a start, and Brian, and they're both at the same game. But
so I think it's the Thunder and the Spurs, I believe. So
yeah, and it's a play-in game. I mean, play-in the mid-season tournament,
the in-season tournament, which I'm not gonna lie, even when the season started, I didn't really understand what the reasoning was behind the in-season tournament, but I kind of get it now. I mean, it's just an extra incentive. You know, the winning team gets what, $500K? Is that right?
I thought the coach gets $500K. The winning team gets a box of Cheerios or something.
I don't know. I don't know.
And Miss Hughes, correct this. That's what we're saying. 8 a.m. our time, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
You know, I never miss it. So, missed y'all last week. Thank you. They're really saying this to me. They missed me last week, but it's a package deal, so you have to come along for it. So.
Yeah.
And so we had an interesting conversation. This is our cousin Paul.
Yeah. Shout out to Paul.
PJ.
Shout out to Paul.
PJ. It's weird for me to call him Paul. I always call him.
I know. Shout out to cousin PJ. PJ, who attended the illustrious James Madison University, who is now 10-0, I believe. And I forgot what the rankings are. The playoff, the rankings should be updated as we speak right now. So I don't know where James Madison is going to lie. And they're still trying to figure out the playoff situation, or not playoff situation, but the bowl situation. But shout out to Paul.
They're basically, because they moved up, they're ineligible, but it's a stupid rule. Like, if
it is a very stupid rule. But 10-0, let them get into a bowl game and go from there.
I think they can challenge Georgia.
Yeah. What?
You don't think they could challenge her? But no, I mean they should definitely be able to go to a good bowl. This is stupid. So
I agree.
So is he going to finish his list? So we challenged him last week.
Yes.
There were two things we challenged him on. One was top 5 quarterbacks right now in the league, and I believe he got to 3, and then just dropped off.
Yeah, we had a lot going on. There were things on our minds, but PJ, if you could chime in and finish the list, let us know in the comments, and we'll figure it out from there.
Yep. And anybody else who's out there, it was a good question brought up.
Very good question.
Who are your top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL right now?
Yeah.
So we'll post anything that we get. We'll post them all together. PJ though gets the first spot, so whenever he's finished. So Thunder up 20 in the third quarter. So good. I like this one.
San Antonio.
They're an easy team to
Yeah, and I think the big ticket obviously is Wemby. So, and of course, people want to see Chet. And
SGA is the big ticket, and don't you ever say otherwise.
yeah, come on now. People are going to the game to see Wemby too. Come on, let's be honest. No disrespect to Mike, but people are going to see Wemby. If Wemby wasn't on that team, a lot of people would have gone to the game.
State. The way Ohio State, Lady Alpha gonna get you just for saying that one. Somebody already tried to poke. See, I told you. Somebody tried to eat. I got nothing to do with it. We didn't say it. We said Georgia.
So. Oh yeah.
All right.
And I am reading your bottom line ticker down here. So I just now read it, which probably makes it even funnier, but it's not funny, but it is funny. So whatever.
Oh, sad thing is we both have the equal chance to do the ticker, but I just end up.
I know you just take advantage of it more than I do. So
I think you're probably the only one that reads it though. So the second thing that I need help with, I've used the phrases leaky defense.
Oh gosh.
Second banana, which I know second fiddle is usually one, but second banana is also a phrase. Log jam.
Yep.
To really describe the Big 12. And there's one more, but my cousin PJ didn't back me up. Rod doesn't back me up. Big Mike isn't backing me up. Like I need somebody to back me up and say that these are common phrases that everyone knows. And I think the fourth one. I can't remember what the fourth one was. It doesn't.
I can't recall. It was one that I probably said 1 or 2 nights ago too when we were doing something else, but I can't recall what it was.
Yeah, Mike says putrid, but I thought there was something before or after putrid.
I forgot.
I definitely like putrid as a way to describe stuff, but we thought about that, and I thought there was something else. But I'm old, so I forget stuff. So, and okay. So now tonight's all about Wembanyama Holmgren. Okay, so maybe Roger was half right. Thanks.
Nobody told you.
I need more people to back me up on this.
Yeah,
get some Herb Strong shirts going on. All right, so that's it. Reminder, the question is top 5 NFL quarterbacks right now. We're going to start with college, though. So, Raj.
Yes.
The game we were super nervous about.
Yes.
Going back 2 weeks.
Right.
You get a comfortable win. The worst thing happened is your field goal kicker, who is immortalized in history forever, actually misses 2 kicks, and we still survive. So, what feelings for that? Wow, I've already got somebody.
Yes, thank you, Lady Alpha. We didn't hear him either, so it's not you, and we're not surprised. No, nobody's heard of him but Herb. No, continue, Herb.
Yeah, blah blah blah. So anyway, and Mr. U's got a meeting. Mr. U, appreciate it. We see his.
Have a good night, man. Post. We'll talk to y'all.
We'll save his quarterback's post when we get a couple. We'll post them all at the same time. Yep. Raj, initial thoughts right after the LSU game. The high, and it was a late game, so we were talking late about that one. So, but
huge sigh of relief. Glad we pulled out the victory. Offensive line only allowed 1 sack. Good to see that there. We had heard about Harold Perkins and somebody else. So,
how you do that there? No sacks allowed. How you do that? Okay.
O-line played
Something
well.
In your eye?
Milroe played well. Offense looked good. I predicted like 40-28, I think, prior to the game. It was pretty close to that anyway. So we knew what LSU's offense could do. So they did exactly what we expected. But we came out and we swung more, and we were able to land a couple of knockout punches. So it was good to see us play well on both sides of the ball. And obviously we're not going. I'm not sure if we're going to talk about the Kentucky game as well. But I was just I just had a huge sigh of relief. I had a huge sigh of relief after the LSU victory, and excited. How about you?
No, it was just nice to see. Like, okay, obviously LSU has a terrible defense, and everyone will say that. So I agree with that. But still, beginning of the season, we weren't the kind of team that would be able to take advantage of it.
Right.
All. So there's still a big difference in that. But I feel like they're finally tailoring stuff a little bit more towards Milroe, and he's just being more decisive.
Yeah.
So and am I ready to go crazy over it? No. And we'll talk about Kentucky in a minute. But I wasn't overlooking Kentucky. I'm not overlooking Auburn on the way to Georgia.
Are you overlooking Chattanooga?
Who?
Are you overlooking Chattanooga?
Anybody that wants to know if we're overlooking Chattanooga needs to watch Alabama versus the World this week.
Good answer. Good answer.
And see what the mocks are bringing to the table. So, yeah, this is essentially a second bye week. But no, we're not good enough to overlook anybody. We still have to play our game each time out, but it is nice to see a little consistency from week to week, and I don't care who the opponent is. Beginning of this year, you would have thought this stretch was one where we could still drop a game or two easily. We weren't going to be LSU or Tennessee. So the fact that we're improving, I love it. I'm happy. The funniest thing about the whole Kentucky thing is, I listen to other podcasts. I was trying to listen to the Locked On Kentucky podcast.
Uh-huh.
They have 1,000%. Yeah, am I mocking the mocks? All I'm saying is watch the video and see what the representative from the mocks has to say about this game.
Yeah.
And see which one of us isn't taking it seriously or not. So,
oh gosh.
I was listening to the Locked On Kentucky podcast. They've just been talking basketball for like the past week.
Okay.
So, and it's funny because when we did Alabama versus the World, the Kentucky representative on there was just talking basketball, and we thought that was funny. Right. No, it's true. They didn't even do a reaction video or a reaction podcast to the game. That's how little they care about the Alabama game. So, what were your thoughts after Kentucky, though? Kind of what was expected.
What was expected, yeah. I predicted more of like a 40-13 type score. We gave up, one more touchdown than I expected. Not bad. Had a few inconsistencies on offense and defense, but overall, I was fine with it. Nothing crazy.
I'm looking. I'm just not as good as looking as you. Like, so I want to blame my lighting. Go ahead.
What? Merrill had a 6-touchdown day, 3 in the air, 3 running. I'm glad he opened it up with that pass to Nyblack. Good to see Nyblack get back into the picture.
Yeah.
Excited, and again he showed decisiveness on the offense too. That even goes back to the LSU game when we had those QB reads, those actual runs. He did not step out in the pocket for 4 or 5 seconds and take a sack. He stepped back and said, "I'm running the ball." If it was something earlier than that, he ran the ball as soon as it was hiked. So it's good to see the decisiveness on Milroe's part. Good. We played 2 solid weeks of football. Got Chattanooga Saturday, and then of course we go to the Plains to play Auburn next Saturday.
Good. Looking forward to it all. So I see a couple lists. PJ has finally finished his top 5 list, so we'll post that out later. Though what we got, his and Mr. U. So anybody else that wants to give it to us, the top 5 quarterbacks list, please go ahead and post it out. Top 5 quarterbacks in the NFL, and we will post it up later all at the same time. Here's a question while we're still in the middle of the college football. Yeah. If Chip Kelly gets fired at UCLA, does Texas A&M go for him? I say no.
I don't think so.
Have to. First off, you're paying somebody $77.6 million. Here's my favorite. 25% of it, $19.4 million, is due in 60 days. So by January 11th, they got to pay him 19. I'd be like, can you imagine getting so much that you might forget the rest of the money?
If I was Jimbo, I would say, okay, I get what you want to let me go. So I would just make sure I refocus and make sure we clarify all the terms before I leave. Get it on tape and everything. I'm like, okay, I'm getting about $20 million in 60 days. Y'all can clean out my lot. Y'all can have it. Whatever's in the office, y'all can.
I would leave everything.
Family pictures, everything. I can make more pictures. They're on my phone. I don't care. I'm taking everything. I'm going on a vacation. Tell my wife I got fired, but I won't need to work again probably for a long time. I'll only work if I want to.
Yeah.
And somebody will hire me. Somebody will hire me.
Yeah.
But
I say no to Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
At Texas A&M. First off, they might want to go with somebody cheap so they can just fire them in 3 years. But you're still on the heels of the number 1 class ever entering in like their junior year.
That was 2022, I believe, right? And then they had like a 5-7 record.
Yeah. So you need to get somebody who's going to be able to keep the recruits around.
Right.
Maybe you keep Petrino for the offense, but you need somebody who can just get more. The talent is there.
Right.
I don't understand. The results are terrible, but the talent is there regardless of what you think. So, but no, to answer the specific question, I don't think Chip Kelly ends there. I don't know where Chip Kelly lands at this point. Maybe he goes into the group of 5, finds a good opportunity there and kind of rebuilds his rep. I don't know. maybe Mississippi State if he really just wants to get to the SEC. But
yeah,
the
Mississippi State job is a hard job to take though.
It is.
When you take that job, I mean, you're going to be, especially with Texas, Oklahoma coming over, you're going to be closer to the end of the pack of the SEC. And then you're going to have to work on recruiting, fighting out other schools like Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss, trying to fight them just to get some recruits to Mississippi State. It's going to be extremely difficult.
It is.
You're not going to see
It's only getting harder.
You're not going to see great results within the first few years. I don't see why you'd want to take that job. Same thing with A&M now. I mean, I don't know what they do. Do they give Petrino the job? Probably not. But they just leave him as offensive coordinator. They got to find somebody to replace Jimbo. I know Lane Kiffin's name has been mentioned, but if I'm Lane, I'm staying at Ole Miss. You got something good there. If you look at Ole Miss's record right now, their only 2 losses were to Alabama and Georgia.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to A&M, it's not going to get better than that. So.
I think the resources are better at A&M.
Yeah,
but I don't know that the results are much better, especially with Texas coming to town.
Right,
so it's a tough gig, man. It's a tough gig. Lincoln Riley, no. I think he likes USC.
I don't. I agree.
We make fun of their defense. He's got some good talent out there.
Yeah.
I know the Oklahoma Sooner and him would love to see Lincoln Riley fail somewhere else, but A&M is like they want to go after a big name, but you're already paying $70 million to somebody. So you probably need to go for a young mind, like I said, somebody can get the best out of that talent. But Dan Lanning has been mentioned. I think that would be a great hire for them. And like I said, you got the money.
Yeah.
So, can you imagine though, man? I wish somebody would pay me like $70 to quit. Like, I mean, $70 million.
Peace.
To quit?
Peace.
I was like, bro, if y'all give me half of it, I'll walk away right now.
Can you imagine being his wife when he comes home? He's like, I got fired. Okay, so what does this mean? I mean, we're good, baby.
Where's that song? I'm rich.
Yeah, we thought we were having a good Christmas this year. We're having a spectacular Christmas.
Shoot, yeah. So wanna be a baller. So yeah, sorry.
Can you imagine if like corporate jobs did buyouts?
They do buyouts.
I mean, like, not to like a bigger extent, though. Like,
oh yeah, no. I mean, I'd be fighting for a corporate job right now.
Hey,
what is my buyout for this show?
We'll discuss that off the air. Yeah.
But
could you imagine if someone just said, "Hey, we're gonna give you triple your salary if you leave tomorrow"? I'm like, triple years? Okay, I'm gone. I'm gone.
I'm gone. You gonna go unpack your office? No, I don't need none of that crap.
I got time to find another job. I'll be all right. Yeah.
Yep. All right. Looking at the rest of college football from this past weekend, we're just gonna go down my notes. This is in no real order.
Okay.
Colorado's gonna miss a bowl. I mean,
yes. I think prior to the season, I think you and I even asked how many games do we think Colorado's gonna win. I was leaning on the high end towards 5, maybe even 6. And I still felt like that was possible after the first couple of games because they started off 4-0. But then they had some bad losses to Arizona State. Bad losses. They should have beat Stanford. Should have beat Stanford. Came close to beating USC. And they're going to lose it. Who do they play next? They play, I think it's Washington State.
Washington State is this Friday. Yep. And then I think they travel to Utah.
They're going to lose.
They got to win both of those to get a bowl. So the problem is, remember we've talked about this resetting expectations, right?
Right.
For a 1-win team, if you can win 4 or 5 games the next year, that's a huge, huge thing.
Right.
When they did that so fast, then it was like, we're going to go to a good bowl. No. You were still a bad team last year who tried to reset on the fly. 4 wins is still a huge improvement, and you still have a lot of work to do.
It is, and we're hoping that Deion takes the timeout. Well, I'm sure he already is taking the timeout to recruit some people in the offensive line because Shedeur Sanders is just running for his life every single game you watch him. I don't have the sack numbers in front of me, but it's dangerous out there. He's either scrambling and trying to make throws or getting sacked or hopefully getting lucky and picking up some yards. But he's got to get a better O-line and do some other works around there. But Deion's Colorado's in good hands. Like you said, they won 4 more games than they did last year. I could see them probably going to a bowl game next year. Of course, I'd have to take a look at their schedule again, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And is Shedeur Sanders eligible for the draft?
25 times he's been sacked this year.
Yikes.
Most in All right, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Isn't Shedeur eligible for the draft?
Yeah, but I guess he's probably going to stay one more year.
I'd come back, yeah.
So, and his draft stock is kind of all. He's proven himself to be a tough quarterback and a good quarterback. But yeah, he is getting knocked around out there.
But you know what? My opinion on people saying it's a tough quarterback.
What?
That just means they take a lot of hits.
Like hits, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, I can't even lie. That's 1,000% correct on that.
Yeah, right. I think you make a good point though. After the first 4 games, if he had went to the draft, he would have had good draft stock. But after the last 4, it's just like, I mean, after the first 4. I don't know.
It's interesting though, because Sanders and Caleb Williams kind of had the same trajectory, as in people want to drop their draft stock based on how their teams are doing, and it's like we're not even watching their numbers anymore. Some people are like Caleb Williams shouldn't be the number 1 pick. Why? Because his team's defense is terrible.
Right.
Unless he needs to start tackling. Now, if we're just breaking down his numbers, then yeah, if you don't think he's a good talent anymore. Right. If you're just watching the games and thinking, oh, well, they just gave up 50. Yeah, okay, he didn't tackle anybody. I agree with that, but neither would anybody else. So.
I mean, he did everything he could on the offensive side of the ball, but you know, what are you supposed to do? When you're scoring 48 and you're giving up 41, that's it's a signal.
Right. So this question, then we got to go answer this other question. He won't be able to take hits like that, and no, definitely
that's true.
Not.
That's
definitely
true.
Not.
His career,
and that's what you always worry about, like kind of like the RG3 thing. You have to develop yourself in the pocket, and you have to learn to take advantage of all the rules that they have for you. Sliding, throwing the ball out of bounds. Now, I'm not saying that. I mean, he has a terrible line, so I'm not going to say that's him. But those are the things you really got to transition to. So half of this is right. True. We will be in Norman next year.
Yes.
The trusted source has lied to you. We will not be wearing Sooner gear.
Absolutely not.
Yes. So no. If somebody wants to buy me Sooner gear, I will bring it home and I will hang it in the closet, never to be seen or heard from again. But I will pull it out as a great story to people about that game that we went to.
I might use it to wash my car with or something.
I won't be that rude because I was going to say something like that, but I won't be that rude. But it will not get worn unless somebody has a Bama versus the World Oklahoma video today.
Oh yeah,
and then not that I wear though. I mean, we always get a representative from the team, that sort of thing. So obviously the big one, Michigan over Penn State.
Yep.
It's like it always just plays out the way I say. Penn State, except for like a year or two. They can't get over, and James Franklin saying, "Well, we lost to the number 1 and number 3 team." Well, guess what? Those teams in your division, you play them every year.
This was a winnable game for Penn State.
Yeah, they didn't. Michigan didn't throw a pass in the second half.
Right.
But I think between the 2 games, they scored like 30 points between the 2 games against Michigan. Like you have to generate something at some point.
Right. I agree.
So, and they start off as a top 10 team, and they're going to lose 2 games. They'll probably get to a good bowl, but if you're Penn State, like how long do you put up with that?
Right. Oh, no problem. I think I'll do the same.
Love the answer. Thank you. Nothing but honesty here. So appreciate you. I don't think Aaron gave us his top 5 NFL quarterbacks either. Now he's at the game though, so he might not have as much time.
Yeah.
All right. So what else you got there, Raj? I mean, Georgia and Ole Miss. That was just.
I mean, Georgia kind of laid down the hammer and proved how dominant their offense was. 51-13.
Oh, I just missed it. The top 5 of the playoffs, top 6.
It's very scary. How about Missouri over Tennessee? I know that's not like any CFP, issue impacts going on right there, but that's still a good win by Missouri. I didn't know Missouri was that good. The running back, what's the running back's name? Schrader.
Schrader
ran for over 200 yards and had over 100 received.
He was shredding them. He was shredding them out there. He was.
No. Stop it. Yeah. Oh gosh, you just kind of ruined my train of thought. Dominant win for Missouri over Tennessee.
The Tennessee podcast is mad, Raj.
I would be too.
He's like, it's just embarrassing.
Yeah. So Washington beat Utah by a touchdown.
I'm sorry. I thought the last point in that, the biggest thing with Tennessee, they don't make second half adjustments.
Yeah.
And it's been terrible for them. And
it was evident when they played us too. So.
Yeah. And the problem was, what did I tell you? When you start blaming other stuff like officials or whatever, you let your team off the hook.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. Instead of like
the problem is in the
blaming
mirror.
The team. Yeah, the team's on the team. Like they haven't done that all year. They got smashed, and now. So I was listening to a podcast earlier this year, and there was this old goofy looking dude on there, and he predicted Tennessee was going to beat Georgia this weekend. I'm gonna have to go back and find it. Alabama.
Do you remember the name of that guy?
I think it was Jador.
Jador,
Gdor. Jador. Yes.
Okay. He was wrong about that.
Okay. Alabama slots in at number 8 still.
All right.
Playoff, so yes,
that's cool.
0 second half adjustments for Tennessee, like in the last 2 or 3 games. So
let me ask you this: do you think Tennessee makes any second half adjustments Saturday when they play Georgia?
Yes, I think they try to plan on how to get home quicker.
Okay.
Which exits to take.
Right.
What games they want to watch at 6 and maybe where they're going to eat. So I feel like that's what they'll be doing the whole second half.
I agree.
So, I'm sorry, you were going on. What did you say? FSU and Miami? Was that the next one you were looking at?
Washington and
Utah.
Utah.
That was closer than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I didn't think Utah would score that much.
Yeah. Other than that, I mean, Texas played a tight one with TCU.
I just feel like Texas is kind of bored out there.
Yeah.
I almost feel like they're just trying to get to the. So there is a logjam for second place in the Big 12. So I don't know even who Texas is going to play. There's like 5 teams right there. And logjam is a real word, doggone it.
You don't have to get mad if it's not. I mean, that's cool. You're real emotional about this word, but
yes, I am.
And Herb, speaking of Texas, what did I predict is going to happen this Saturday? I want you to say it on the show.
So let's go back up. Let's back up.
Okay.
Raj said after they beat us and even after they lost to Oklahoma, he said they're going to lose one game along the way that they should not lose. And we thought maybe TCU would get them. So this is their last chance, I guess. Who do they play after Iowa State? Terrible.
That's a good question.
Well, anyway, Raj has already predicted, gone on record. If you watch our college picks, which if you don't watch our college picks, do you not like us?
Texas Tech, duh.
Okay. Raj has picked it. Iowa State this week is the game that they will lose.
Yeah.
So, as an Alabama fan, so Oregon slots in at number 6. So now you're getting them live. It's weird. I've gone from thinking Oregon was definitely clearly better than Washington to now I'm just kind of like, I really don't know. Maybe
I still think Oregon's going to win the Pac-12, but
and Washington's number 5. That seems so disrespectful still.
Okay,
but maybe they just haven't beat enough good teams.
Right.
So where are we at? We going on to next week then?
Let's do it.
We mentioned Colorado and Washington State. I feel bad for Colorado. They're in the primetime spot on Friday night still, but they're not winning that game.
No,
it's just not happening. So what do you got on Saturday? Because I had a couple games that. Michigan goes to Maryland. I
don't think Michigan. Well, I don't know if Michigan's going to cover, but I think Michigan's going to win.
I think they're going to win. I think they'll play angry for Harbaugh. Now, I think he goes to court like Friday, so who knows if he's reinstated.
Oh Lord,
yeah. This is kind of an interesting game for the ACC. Louisville, Miami. Now we covered that obviously on our picks, but. Florida State almost needs Louisville to win this game just to make their strength of schedule look better. Because if you have Louisville lose this game and lose to Florida State, and Florida State, I guess their best win is still LSU, and that's it. Now obviously undefeated win the ACC, they're probably going to make it anyway, but they're not looking that great. And then a shaky win against Miami, it's just not. I think they've gone from being a super impressive team to kind of like a who have they played team.
Yeah, and how did Louisville get blown out by Pitt?
I don't know.
I still don't get that.
Yeah,
but
to win all the rest of them too, I don't get.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know. We talked about UGA and Tennessee. I mean,
Jordan, what do you think about UGA only favored by 10?
It's because of how they start and that they're on the road.
Okay,
but I mean the way Tennessee plays the second half. I mean, if you were like somebody taking lines. I'd almost wait until the end of the first half and take Georgia for the second half. That's probably your best. Tennessee is like they do everything for the first. Yeah, so Georgia's down number 1, which they should have been the whole time.
Right.
And Ohio State's number 2. It's funny to watch these rankings because obviously the 2 of those teams are going to play, but Ohio State and Michigan would not play it in the first round of the playoffs right after they just played.
Right.
So that it's always interesting to watch, but. No, I mean Georgia's going to smash them in this. They might do it. I mean Brock Bowers, the somebody called him the alien. Is already back and ready. No, I mean Georgia's going to smash them. Tennessee, I think after last week they look terrible. They have no goals in front of them like last year. And
but it's always scary to play a team that has nothing to lose.
except Tennessee. I'm just not.
Okay.
I'm
There's
not-
that
I'm
one
not.
exception. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not feeling them. Sorry,
Gotcha.
Rob. Sorry. And then I think, was that really like all I wanted to cover as far as that? Washington goes to Oregon State. That's an interesting one too.
Yeah.
If Washington loses,
Oregon State's got a good defense.
Oregon State's got a really good defense. They're still in line to play Oregon, but that kind of any thought of the Pac-12 trying to get two teams in is gone if Washington loses. So, you ever think these teams think about that? Hey, man, if we lose this game, we'll get two teams in. We'll get more money at the end.
Do they have those conversations? Is that what they're talking about? Like pregame on the field?
I mean, I know the conference sits there and then probably talks to the refs sometimes. Like, look, Washington wins and we get more teams in the playoffs. That's more money for the conference. Everybody gets paid.
Look, I know you got a couple of kids that want to go to school, so here we can help you out. If you kind of help us out with some calls,
Look at us. We're gonna get investigated. That's what's
I know.
by the end of this. So
hey, that's only good attention to the show. So hey.
All right, so that's really. Oh, and what do you think about Deion Sanders like being possibly mentioned in other jobs? Like people say, "Oh, you think Texas A&M?"
Too early. I think it's too early. I think they're doing that based off the hype around Colorado this year. They only won 4 games. They're only going to win 4 games this year. So give them a few years at Colorado. See if he could get them into some good bowl games. Maybe 7-8 wins, a few seasons. Then we'll progress from there.
Yep, I agree. All right, we're going to move on over to the NFL. Unless you want your Lakers minute, you want to put that at the end if you get it.
At the end, yeah.
All right. So what do you got there? We're going to start off, before we start talking about the games, we're going to start off with put you on the spot, Raj.
Okay.
Raj's top 5. We need to get music for this.
Yes.
Raj's top 5 list. Ooh. Raj's top 5 list this week. Top 5 MVP candidates in the NFL.
Okay. It took me a while to kind of figure this list out because I kind of interchanged some names in here and I got all quarterbacks. I'm not going to lie.
Raj, we've already asked people for their top 5 quarterbacks. Is your list just your top 5?
Okay, we already made my list. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Better of you.
Number 1, I have Mahomes. I feel like it could have gone.
Mahomes?
What other Mahomes is there?
Brittany? I mean, you didn't specify. What am I supposed to do?
Pat Mahomes, I feel like based on his late fourth quarter play, the Chiefs have won a few games that they probably should never won this year.
Yeah,
they're sitting at
terrible receiving core outside of Mrs. What's
Travis Kelce,
Mr. Swift.
Yeah. But the Chiefs are sitting at 7-2, top of the AFC, good to go. Number 2, I got Jalen Hurts. They got the best record in the league.
He's hurting.
Even though he's alien. I think he's been hurt for a while. I love Hurts. Oh gosh, I can't believe I played into that. Hurts, honestly, Hurts probably could have gone 1 or 2 here. The Eagles are 8-1. And obviously this leads into the big Monday night showdown with the Eagles playing the Chiefs in the Super Bowl rematch.
So do you give AJ Brown any slot in there, or you Jalen Hurts over AJ Brown even on his own team?
You mean in the MVP?
In the MVP vote, yeah.
I don't have AJ Brown in the top 5, but I could see where he could get in there because obviously he's one of the reasons why Jalen Hurts' numbers look so good.
Okay.
Number 3, I got my boy
Tyreek Hill.
Tua.
Oh, no, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No.
Yeah. Oh, actually, I got him at 4. I'm sorry, I got him at 4.
So you even lied to the whole world.
Number 3, I got Lamar. I'm sorry, I switched him at the second. Number 3, I got Lamar Jackson. Baltimore had a rough start, but now they're 7-3. They're looking like Super Bowl contenders.
Do you still have Lamar even after this last game that he just blew?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, nobody under here has a perfect record and has played perfect all year. So,
but he threw a game-losing pick 6.
That's fine. MVPs make mistakes.
Okay.
Last time I checked, this is Raj's top 5 list. You asked me for the list. Number 4, I got my boy Tua.
Oh, that
He's at 6-3. We're coming off a bye. I might actually have Tua up here a little higher, but Miami Dolphins have not won any. All of our wins are coming against bad teams. I need to see Miami beat a good team in order for me to move Tua up.
Right.
And number 5, this is going to be a surprise. Okay, who do you think number 5 is? And I said it's quarterback.
Joe Burrow?
Nope.
And is a quarterback?
Surprise, yes.
Golf.
No, but Goff could get up there.
Dak?
No.
Raj, we've covered all the good quarterbacks. It better
CJ
not
Stroud.
be, huh?
CJ Stroud.
Oh yeah, duh. You mentioned this on the
got Houston at 5-4, rookie quarterback. Yeah. He's already probably going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
Yeah.
Don't have a lot of great name receivers on the team, but he's working well with them. Houston looking good. Shout out to CJ Stroud, but those are my top 5.
Yep. I like it. Randy just checked in and said, "Go Dogs."
He checked in right after the CFP released the rankings.
Well, let's be honest, but Georgia should have been number 1.
They should have been number 1. Yeah, we know that.
And it doesn't make any sense to I don't know. And the rest, the whole Ohio State, Michigan, that's about to. You got 2 weeks, and that's gonna solve itself. So
I still feel like there's still a few teams out there that are better than both Ohio State and Michigan.
Oh, you're gonna make the people mad.
I know. I just feel like Georgia's one of them. I feel like you give Alabama 1 more week, we could get up there. I mean, it just took us a little while to get going. Oregon's up there. Washington might be kind of on borderline, but I don't know. Maybe that's just me. I'm sorry.
Nope. And notice the amber. I missed that. What's the amber? Oh, the banner. Okay. This is how I just noticed she meant the banner. So now the second person ever to read the banner. So thank you. We spent a lot of time on that thing before we get on here. So because your list was all quarterbacks, I'm going to go ahead and post out the other people who gave their top 5 quarterbacks, since that's apparently what you guys do around here. So here was PJ's. He finally finished his list. Mahomes, Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Tua, and Goff.
Okay.
Did you guys swap notes before you did this?
No, we didn't. So
right. Yeah, and Josh Allen, you can't. If you had Josh Allen before last night, you really have to take him off after last night. That was.
Yeah, he looked horrible last night.
Yeah, and then I think we had one more person in here gave the top 5, right? Oh, okay. Mr. U gave his before he had to go. Mahomes, Burrow, Hurts, Jackson. It can't be Josh Allen after he was watching that game and texting us. It can't be Josh Allen after last night.
No.
Even he was talking about how bad that was.
He played horrible against a horrible Denver team.
Yeah.
I didn't get that.
So, and then you woke up. This is you talking about you feel like the
she's a Ohio State fan, correct?
Yes, Ohio State. So I knew you were going to get in trouble as soon as you said that.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Cass says you don't have her glass on. That's fine. We forgive you as long as you read the banner. I put my blood, sweat, and tears into that banner. So appreciate it. So and there goes Big Mike with his Mahomes, Hurts, Tua, Burrow, Herbert. That's an interesting one. So I guess your thing is, where do you separate your team success, I guess, from how we judge you as a quarterback? So Herbert obviously signs the extension and has had great success on his own. But this also, did you text Mike to tell that? Because this leads into a question you asked in another video.
What's that?
Is Staley, the coach, Brandon Staley, for Chargers, is he on the hot seat? Is he in trouble? I say yes.
I say yes.
You're wasting a talent like Herbert. And it's not even the wins and losses necessarily. It's how you lose a lot of these games to where at the end of the game, we're a lot of times saying that was a terrible decision you made in the game. You know?
Right.
So a lot of it does in football, obviously in every sport comes down to execution. But you can honestly just look and say he made a bad play call here. He made a bad decision to go there. And you just signed Herbert to that extension. I know Pat Mahomes is in your division, but you would expect that team to beat up on the Denvers of the world, beat up on the Raiders of the world, start off at least 4-0 in the division, split with Kansas City, and then go take out enough other teams to make the playoffs every year. And the Chargers aren't even doing that.
Yeah.
So what was it that prompted you to ask that question? And then what is your answer for it? But I say yes.
I just thought about it because I was like, I would have thought by now that the Chargers would have made like a nice little playoff run, but they really haven't ever since like Herbert's. I think it was his rookie year. It was 2021 when he had a really, really good rookie year. I remember that. Oh, it was actually 2021. You know how I remember that? Because I won fantasy football that year, and Herbert was my quarterback.
So just for anybody that knows, Raj Warren, fantasy football, he takes the most random times to remind me. I'll get a text and it'll say, "Hey, are you okay?" And I call him like, "Yeah, what's wrong?" Just because I won fantasy football 2 years ago, I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I'm Mr. Petty. I'm super petty, and I always will be like this. I love doing it.
And
anyway,
Pat, we're gonna get to hers in a minute because that's definitely another one as well. So
go ahead.
Herbert's like Jaden Daniels, Caleb doing everything to make up for a bad team around them. Yeah. I agree. The only thing I will say about the Herbert situation is they have talent around him. So
but what could you imagine? How do you think the Miami Dolphins would have the same record if you switched Tua with Justin Herbert?
I think the Dolphins would be okay because he does have a big arm, and the weapons on the Dolphins seem to be healthy.
Yes.
I think Miami, I think the Chargers would be in trouble because Tua was banged up his first couple of years. Yeah. When's the last time all of the offensive weapons on the Chargers were all healthy? It seems like
that's a good question.
They managed, 2 wide receivers are hurt every game. Eckler gets hurt at the start of this game. Your coach is not making good decisions. I think if you switch coaches, the Chargers, McDaniel, I think he would find a way to maximize the talent on the Chargers. And I think Staley would ruin the Dolphins with bad decision-making and bad planning, if that makes sense. But Miami's offensive weapons have stayed a lot healthier, and their defense is coming along better than like the Chargers' offensive weapons haven't been healthy, and their coach makes bad decisions.
Right.
So I think wherever Herbert ended up, he'd be okay. But whoever ends on the Chargers I'd fear for them. So.
Yeah, I agree.
Is that what you think? Okay.
Yeah. I agree.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being, he's at 1,000% getting fired, where do you put Staley at?
Probably around at a 3.
Yeah.
Kind of somewhere in the middle. I mean, they might retain him for another 1 or 2 years. And again, do we have his contract details? I don't know what that's looking like, but they and the same with Justin Herbert. I don't know how much. I think you said he just re-signed, right?
He just signed his extension. So that's the thing. Once you sign your big money quarterback to that much money, you're thinking like, I need some results. And if we're not minimum making the playoffs and challenging the Chiefs for the division, then he got to go. So Mike says a 3.5.
Yeah.
So click that on. And it said Dennis Allen from the Saints. Yes. The Saints haven't been happy with him since he's been there.
I thought they were projected to have a good year this year, too, with Derek Carr coming over.
Yep. And I thought he fit that offense pretty well, but they could never seem to get any traction. Michael Thomas, when he's not out throwing bricks at trucks, he's on the field. You got Kamara on the field. Well, they have Olave, right? That's
Olave,
Hill as a and there's no consistency. So it's just.
And the Saints usually have a pretty good defense, too.
Yeah. And then they play in a terrible division. You're thinking, man, if we can squeak out 9, maybe 10 wins, we're making the playoffs and hosting the game. And remember, I think because I picked the Saints to win their division at the beginning of the year, and now it's just like I picked them in several weeks, and I'm just disappointed every week. And then you go online, and Saints fans aren't even disappointed anymore because they're just like, yeah, we expected this. Yeah. So it's crazy to see like what they're wasting over there. Kamara went from like being, and I know he's suspended beginning of the year, but I mean that's like all world talent there. And now you're just we just wait until he leaves the team. Like I don't know. So Allen is another one. I wouldn't be surprised that something happens. What do you think's gonna happen with Belichick?
I mean, what are they gonna do? I mean, they're not gonna. I don't think they're gonna fire him. And look at his resume; he's done good, but. What are they going to fire him and then find somebody else? I mean, you're still going to have some of the same problems.
See, you mean
Mac Jones?
Yeah, it's just bad So the Panthers are bad, but they don't have talent everywhere, right? So you kind of think it looks bad, but you understand,
right?
The Saints have talent and have talented players and a good defense, and when you see that, then they're just
not producing.
You're befuddled.
Big Mike, I hope you heard that one.
I mean, the team is just so discombobulated at times. It's crazy. Yeah.
But see, I've heard of befuddled and discombobulated, so it's not the same impact. So
okay, dang it, I'll have to try harder. So, and this was an issue. Some of these teams, old men would learn when to say when and let the younger players have their slot. That's more coaching to me. I think you get, and honestly, we've had a little bit of Alabama at times where it's like this person has earned their spot and they want to hold on. Man, these guys are getting paid too much money to say, okay, seniority. This ain't a union. So if it's time to move the guy in, it's time to move the guy in. So Mike likes it better when I'm not trying.
Yeah, when you don't try.
But to finish that point, I think coaches a lot of times don't balance it very well, when to hold on to the guy and when to move somebody else in his spot. And NFL in general, I think they think that all your training and all your development was supposed to be done in college, and it's just not always that way. Sometimes you still have stuff to learn in the NFL, and it's like, are you learning that just by sitting on the bench all the time? Probably not.
Right.
So, and yeah, way too much talent. See, and that's what New Orleans Saints fans feel. So, all right. So, how much of the fault in New England is on? And this is a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being all your fault, you suck. Where do you give Belichick? Where do you give Mac Jones? And where do you give whoever the GM is, if they have a GM?
As far as like the recent
blame
play,
for how terrible they are right now.
Mac
and
Jones
how much do you give Tom Brady? Huh?
Mac Jones is a starting quarterback, so I'm gonna give him a 3.5 to a 4. I don't think he has a lot of weapons. I won't give him a full 5. I just don't think he has a lot of weapons right now. Belichick, I give him about a 3. He is the head coach, so he's calling the shots. The GM, I mean,
he's calling the shots.
Robert Kraft, Robert Kraft's the owner, but
yeah,
whatever. I don't know how much is on him. They just need to. It all depends on what they do in the next upcoming draft. I mean, do you think they're going to draft another quarterback, or do you think they're just saying Mac Jones is having a bad year?
The problem was Mac started off good, and then he
had a Pro Bowl season,
and then he started off good. So here's what I've always said about Mac at Bama, because even the 1 year that he started, he really was only throwing to Devontae Smith after Waddle got hurt. Right?
Waddle got hurt, yeah.
But he had
Najee Harris.
He had Sark. He had Najee Harris, and even Mechie as his second receiver. So here's what I always feel about Mac. Mac is that guy that if you draw up the play, Mac knows where everybody's supposed to be.
Yep.
And can hit the guy that is supposed to be open.
Right.
Okay. And like the cat just said, he had a great talent at Alabama and a great play caller. Now you're at a spot where he doesn't have overwhelming. New England just does not. They do not like to draft offensive talent or get offensive talent. Especially at wide receiver. It's just weird. Tom Brady just always made him look good. He's at a spot now where he's having to take a little more on his shoulder. And he's just not that guy. And so he needs to go into a better system if he's going to succeed. But yeah, I just don't think New England. I think New England they thought would be a good fit for him. It's just not the place. So.
I agree. Yeah, I think if you give Mac, like I said, if you give Mac some more weapons, I think he'll have a better season. But he's doing okay with what he can right now. But you're a New England Patriot. They're not used to okay. They're used to legendary status and winning Super Bowls, and they're nowhere near that right now.
This is what I was saying. Sark was his play caller that year. That was the year we won the national championship, and he left for Texas. That was Mac's year. So, and then what happened? He gets three people in the top 5 in the Heisman voting. So that tells you exactly what we were working with. But yeah, Sark was there, and like I said, I always give Sark credit for balancing. He got the Texas job and still was good enough to win a national championship, and that doesn't.
I agree.
People, so, yep. I think Cat's on the Sark. Yep. So, so Raj, we're kind of at the end of the NFL segment. Oh, Philly and KC this Monday night. The rest of these games seem kind of, But what are you looking forward to watching the Philly and KC?
I'm looking forward. I think that's gonna be the biggest game over this next week. Kind of looking forward to see if KC can stand up and keep up with Philly, and Philly's got a pretty good offense, and see how well they defend AJ Brown. See if it's going to be a close game too, but it's going to be extremely entertaining. Agreed. And I think the winning team will probably have the NFL MVP leader on the team. So
yeah, I like that. It's at Kansas City. Oh, and then so I will say this about the O'Brien hire going to New England. A lot of people did talk good about that and thought he was a better fit for the pros, which I would agree with that. He seemed to want to do pros more than he did college. He was terrible at Alabama. But you saw have you seen the shot of him yelling at Mac on the sideline this last game. So,
yep.
All right, Raj, we are in that spot where it's about time to end, but I'm gonna put you on the spot.
Okay.
Before we get into the questions of death, did you prepare your questions?
No, I did not.
Well, good thing I did.
I know you did. Right.
So I am gonna put you on the spot for a very early Lakers minute.
Okay.
So let me get my timer.
Do you really need a timer?
It's more fun this way.
Oh my gosh.
Ready and go.
Well, Lakers are 5-5 right now. 10 games into the season. They won their first in-season game the other day against Portland, I believe it was. They host the Grizzlies tonight for their group play in the NBA in-season tournament. We'll go into the in-season tournament another time.
You look so bored when you say that, by the way.
I mean, it's the in-season tournament, but whatever. Anyway, they're favored by 6.5. The Grizzlies are 2-8. Lakers are 5-5. They're starting off okay. I think that the key to the Lakers season this year is going to be Gabe Vincent and Cam Reddish.
You guys are true, then.
I know. Once Gabe Vincent comes back, if he can give us at least 10 points off the bench, and if Cam Reddish can start averaging 10 points a game, I think we'll be a lot better. Because
did you ever think you'd say the words Gabe Vincent and Cam Reddish?
I mean, other than LeBron and AD, we're going to need some outside help. So
yeah,
we can count on AR, and we know what the Hachi sauce can do. So Cam Reddish and Gabe Vincent are going to need to produce more.
Could you care any less about the in-season tournament?
I really don't care for it too much, to be honest. I think it's a way for the NBA and Adam Silver to just make some more money, maybe sell some more jerseys. The courts look extremely bright and colorful, and I feel like a lot of the players playing in the tournament still have no idea what's going on.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. I was still finding out rules. You're over here texting me like, oh, these games count. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I didn't see. I thought those games didn't count towards the regular season record, and I was like, well, why are they even playing?
Yeah. That's what I thought. So now they've managed to sneak in more games. So, all right, Rod, you ready for the 3 questions of Deef? So this one is a very we want to get into your psyche, Raj.
Okay. I'm nervous.
When you daydream about sports,
okay.
What is your daydream? What is your ultimate one? What school did you go to? What sport did you play? What position? Who drafted you, and how many championships do you win?
When I daydream, that's a good.
Because we talk about football a lot,
right. When I daydream about sports, I picture myself being the leading striker on the University of Alabama soccer team. Disclaimer that back when I went to Alabama, they didn't have like an NCAA side; they had like a club team.
Right.
I think now they have.
Which meant you actually went to the club and drank and talked about soccer.
They had Anyway, I picture myself being the best striker in the country on the University of Alabama soccer team and leading them to a national championship. That's what I daydream about.
Really? So above football and above basketball?
Yeah. I mean, I grew up playing soccer. I have a pretty good soccer background. So.
Okay. Did I throw you off with that question?
No, you did. You did actually. That was a surprise. You did. I ain't gonna lie.
Okay. All right. Number 2. The Kentucky version of Work, Play, Live.
Okay.
George Clooney, Johnny Depp, Jennifer Lawrence.
They're all from Kentucky?
Yeah.
How'd you even come up with that?
I mean, it's what I do. It's how I roll.
George Clooney, Johnny Depp, and Jennifer Lawrence. All right. All right. I want Johnny Depp to be my neighbor. I think he'd be like the cool guy. Like, hey man, we can have a beer and grill.
Why do I already see where this is going?
I'm gonna work with George Clooney. I think he'd be a cool guy to work with. He'll give me some good details and make sure that I'm doing good at my job. Hanging out with Jennifer Lawrence, man. That is a Mystique is fine. Jennifer Lawrence is a healthy, nice looking young lady. So yes.
Oh my goodness. They don't have a men's team, but the women's soccer team in the second round of the NCAA tournament. So Raj will be the leading striker on the women's team.
Yep.
Leading them to victory. All right. If you had to rename your kids, but you have to name them after Marvel characters.
Oh my gosh.
What would you name them?
All right.
And you can do the middle names too if you want, or just the first name.
Just first names. My son's name is Royal, and my daughter's name is Lauren. So that is a good question. After Marvel characters?
Yeah, Marvel characters. Can be villains or heroes.
I would name Royal Iron Man because I feel like his personality is coming out, and he sometimes you do things to him and he'll just laugh and just kind of play it off. And he looks like he's not going to be. It looks like a lot of things just really aren't going to bother him. But right. I could be wrong. He's only like 4 months. Lauren, I don't know. Was Rogue the one that was kind of unique and kind of reserved and kind of?
If she touched somebody, she absorbed all their powers.
I feel like I would name.
That's why she stayed away from people.
I feel like, well, every time Lauren touches me, I give her a hug. I kind of feel like that's my little girl. I'm a spoiler.
Oh, look at that. She's gonna be Rogue. Yep. All right, so Rogue and Iron Man. That's what I'm gonna call him from now on. By the way,
that's what we're gonna call him. Rogue and Iron Man. Call him. And,
yep. Pepper Potts.
I can't call her Pepper Potts.
Oh, all right. So we're about to be finished here, Raj. So I did have one thing that we didn't really touch on that I can throw in real quick.
Yeah.
Did Zach Arnett deserve to get fired from Mississippi State?
I don't think so. It was only 1 year. Whenever you're coaching college for 1 year, you don't even have enough time to recruit any of your own players.
But it wasn't even a full year.
It wasn't. He got the job in like December, right?
It was late. I think because the season was over.
Right.
When when Mike Leach passed.
Yeah.
But that's like it was a sudden change sort of situation. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
I mean, it's only a year. You don't have enough time to recruit your own players. I mean, a lot of the kids there probably might not even follow behind you that much, but they're just there because maybe they're on scholarship or whatever the case may be. I usually give coaches, I think you should give coaches at least 3 years, minimum 3 years.
Yeah, you're right, Raj. December.
Minimum of 3 years and then make a decision. So to answer your question, no, I don't think it was right. But I mean, they're not really losing much over it. And I think once they found out that Jimbo was gone, maybe I don't know if they're going to go after Jimbo.
That's what Kat said. They lost by 40 and then you fired Jimbo Fisher. So so we can't keep you around. But I don't know what the expectation level was for this year or in the future of Mississippi State. So I would have kept him around. So my last question for you.
Yes.
Is it too early? Is the Bryce versus CJ debate already over? Did they make a huge mistake taking Bryce?
I'm not going to call it a mistake because I still think Bryce is going to have a successful career. But CJ Stroud is obviously probably going to have a better career just from where they are right now.
Yeah.
He's a little bigger. He doesn't have too many weapons.
Where's my Houston Texans shirt?
I don't think. Oh, you do have one.
I do have
a great one.
Yeah.
I don't know where it is. So
okay. I have a Texans shirt and a Philly shirt, so that's what I'll be rooting for the rest of the year. So
I think if Bryce gets some more help over the next few years, he'll do a lot better. But
he was changing the time. Yeah, he was going away from the air raid, and he hadn't recruited. So I felt that was a knee jerk reaction. Yeah, Bryce, he's all alone out there. But that doesn't take anything with CJ. I like CJ Stroud when he came out of college, so I would have been happy.
I did too. I was a fan of him.
Yep. All right, Raj. I know you need to get some rest.
Yeah.
I need to go figure out how to look better in my life. Appreciate you. I guess next week we're expecting, good victory this week. So I might actually be at the game. So I will give you live reports from there. Probably not.
Please do. Tough game this week against Chattanooga.
Yeah. Please check out Bama vs. the World to see how the Mocs are handling this game. Look at Bo coming in with that. You know what? I never liked Seattle or Washington.
Shout out to Bo. Yes.
No, Bo. I always love doing the show with Bo in the morning. He drops some knowledge. A lot of times he says stuff, and I'm like, God, I got to get smarter.
Yeah.
So, always appreciate Bo. Yep.
Bo knows football.
See you on Saturday, man. Appreciate
Bo knows football.
There's like 3 people who got that commercial reference.
Okay.
So probably me, you, and Bo. When he was on the show, I did say he was the greatest Bo of all time, though. Football talk with Bo.
Greater than Bo Jackson?
He smoked Bo Jackson. he could run faster than Bo. He could lift or he could lift more weights. He could run faster. He could jump higher. So,
Bo, we're gonna have to see the unarchived footage. So let us.
And
know.
on that note, we're gonna have a good night, everybody. Appreciate you all tuning in. Love the comments. Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
All. We will see you next week. Check out our YouTube channel for the other videos. Until then, Herb and Rod Podcast. Love y'all. Good night. Roll Tide.
Roll Tide.